said to Abram, underline Abram. Underline Abram. I'm going to give you something today on that. The Lord said to Abram, the Lord is in all what? Those of you who have been in this teaching for a minute, anytime you see the Lord in all caps, it means what? Elohim. Thank you, Deacon. This is for Sunday for those who are watching this YouTube or Facebook, and we do dialogue a little bit. So the Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all the people on earth will be blessed through you. Through you is through who? Abram. Verse 4, so Abram went, as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. It's important, underline that. Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. 75. He took his wife Sarah. He took his nephew Lot and all the possessions that they had accumulated and the people they had acquired at Haran. And they set out for the land of Canaan. And they arrived there. But Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh and Shechem. At that time, the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, to your offsprings, underline that, I will give this land. To your offsprings, I will give this land. I'm not giving it to you, Abram, but to your offsprings, I will give this land. So he built an altar there to the Lord, who appeared to him. 8. For there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent with Bethel on west of Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord, and he called on the name of the Lord. Verse 9, our last verse. Then Abram set out and continued toward Negev. Oh, man. Check your status. Check your status. Let's talk a little bit about this. What's your status? There are 3 types of statuses. 3 types of statuses. It's called the master status. We're talking about the achieved status and the ascribed status. Now, every person has one of each of these 3 social statuses. Everybody does. Now, the master status is a status of individuals that which they view as the most important. Master status is the most important of your status because this status here is significant and affects how each individual acts in other social statuses. This one right here determines how you act. Make it simplistic, Pastor, how you act around other folks. This status right here, how you act around other people. Because in this status here, it's ascribed to either you have achieved something or ascribed to it. The master status is how every last one of us act around when we get around some folks. That's the master status. The achieved status is an example of achieved status would be whether you became a doctor, you're a dancer, you're a judge, you're a mechanical engineer. This is the status that one has earned based on your achievements. So when you achieve certain things in life, this status comes from I have achieved X, Y, Z, so this is my status. The last one is called the ascribed status. I like this one because the ascribed status, this is the one that has to do with our ethnicity. We didn't ask to be black, we were born black. We didn't ask to be white, some people were born white, and other ethnicities. This is something that you can't change this one. You can't change what you have been ascribed to. Something that is assigned to one purely of the whims of external individuals. You cannot change that, I don't care what. Some people treat you differently because of your ascribed status. Some people treat you different because of your achievements. Sometimes you even act different because of your achievements. Sometimes you act different because of your ascribed status. Why did I bring all of that up in dealing with Genesis chapter 12? Because when this incident happened, the first thing I thought about was, how is it that the Most High teaches us that when we have obtained certain statuses, why do we still hang in certain places that we once have been delivered from? Why are we still attached to people whom the Most High said, you have got to leave them and move forward? But a lot of us get to a place to where we say, I can't walk away from them because they my family. They're my homeboys. I got to do that. They're my homegirls. I got to be with them. And then when you do this, they say, you think you too much. It ain't that. It's just I done moved on up a little bit higher, and certain things I cannot do anymore. Certain places I can't go anymore. Why? Because of my status. Y'all gonna get this in a second. Because it baffles me how when God has progressed you to a certain status, you still act like you're a buzzard. When he have grown you to an eagle. Okay. He have moved you from the wilderness and placed you in the promised land. But you're in the promised land still trying to associate with the wilderness. You're in the promised land still acting like the wilderness. You're in the promised land still thinking like the wilderness. You're in the promised land still dressing like the wilderness. It's amazing how in church we're running, we're shouting, we're praising the Lord, we're speaking in tongues, we're dancing, and we think it's good, but there's no deliverance happening. There's nobody being set free, changing their status. That I once was this, but my status has changed now. So look at what the text told Abram to do. There are three things that you learn from this. The first is there are two imperatives that are given to us in verse 1 and 3. Two imperatives, that is given to us in verses 1 through 3. The first imperative that he said was get out. That's the first imperative he told him. Get out. Get out. Leave your country. Go to the land. Get out. Y'all all right? The second imperative was to be a blessing. Notice his leaving started his chain reaction. Oh, don't go too fast. I wanted to jump right there. No. Slow down, Franklin. Notice how the chain reaction did not take place until he did what? Talk to me. This is for Sunday. Till he did what? He had to leave. Then the chain reaction happened. Please do not miss the symmetry in this teaching. He had to be that blessing so that others would follow. Are there many times that people are blessed because of you? Maybe you can't be the legacy in your family because you're not doing what God told you to do. Maybe you can't be the blessing to your children and your children's children because you're not doing what God told you to do. He first told you to go, to leave. Now, I ran across an argument in this text. In my later years of my preaching to my preachers, I am an investigator of text now. And I looked in this text, 20 years I've been preaching, 20. But just over the last couple of years, I've become an investigator of text. And notice what the Most High said, that Abraham really didn't do everything God told him to do. Oh, God! Let's go back. The Lord told him to go from his country, go from his people, and your father's household. But he took Lot with him. God, don't get it. He took Lot with him. Not only did he take Lot with him, but he took some people from the place of Haran and moved them too. Oh, God. Some of y'all just ain't going to learn. You just want to take somebody with you. But the Lord told you to leave everything. Leave your people, leave your country, leave your father's household to the land, and I'm going to show you. So many of us are like that. We say we love the Lord. We say we trust the Lord, but we don't for real. So many of us don't trust God for real, guys. We don't. Because when you really trust the Lord, you trust him whether you can see it or not. And I'm going to show you that in a second. There are so many of you that are lacking of what you have because you have to see it. And there are so many of you who are in another place because you can't see. And he said, I'm blessing you because you can't see. And I'm not blessing them because they need to see. Oh, God said you got to prove that to them because they looking like, what in the world? Can I show you in the Bible? Yeah. Go to John chapter 20. I'm going to show you in the Bible because there are many people who are watching this and those of you who are here that need to see why the Lord blessed so many people who have this ridiculous faith, who can't see. Go to John chapter 20, verse number 29. Let's listen to what the Bible has to say. John chapter 20, verse number 21. He said, then Jesus told him, he's talking to old doubting Thomas. He had to prove something to Thomas. Back it up, Pastor. Go up to verse number 26 and prove it to him. A week later, his disciples was in the house again. And Thomas was with them. The doors were locked. Jesus came and stood among them. The doors were what? Locked. You got to get this text. The doors were locked. So in order for somebody to come in, the door got to be open, right? Jesus told them, I am the door. Watch out. I don't need you to open no doors. I can still come in. Why? Because now he's in his glory. He's a spirit now. So he don't need the door. Jesus came and stood among them and he said, peace be with you. He wanted to give us some peace because I'm sure you'd be scared to death. My door locked. How in the world you got him? Wait a minute now. I ain't hear no door open. I ain't hear no handle jiggle. How you got in here? He said, peace be with you. Let me get technical. He spoke in his language. He said, shalom. That means peace. He didn't come in here and say, peace be with you. That's our English version. Jesus spoke Arabic. He spoke Hebrew. So when he walked in, he said, shalom. He said, then he said to Thomas, put your fingers right here. See, in his spirit, man, he still had the nails there. He had the scars. Let me prove to you who I am. Stick your fingers there. I know you need some proof. He said, reach out your hand and put it on my side. What happened on the cross? They speared him in his side. He said, stop doubting and believe. See, a lot of you are still in doubt mode. That's why you haven't left where he told you to leave from. That's why you're still cleaving to certain people in your life, because you have not detached. And God is saying the true blessing won't come until you fully be obedient to what I told you to do. There are some people you cannot take on your journey. They were beneficial while you were on your journey, but as you go further, it's like racing. You're going to leave some people behind. You're going to pass some folks. There are some people who have left you, and you're going to circle the lap and leave them. They can be on lap 2, and you're going to catch up with them, and you're going to be on lap 4, and they're just still on lap 2. God said, don't worry about them that they have left you. You just keep running your journey. And many times you get tired because you're trying to keep up with them. He said, but when you run your race, then I'm going to allow blessings to flow in your life. You're going to see how, because you're obedient, you're going to overlap them now. But you first got to do what I told you to do. I told you to go. I told you to leave. I told you to detach. But you're still trying to hold on to folk. Because some friendships push you to where you need to go. Some friendships was a blessing for that purpose. You ever heard of season? There are certain friendships and relationships of seasons, and they have reasons. And when they've run their course, you stop trying to rekindle what he said. That's over with. Oh, God, Nellis, you teaching. I know I am. Because I'm helping me out, too. I done helped me out when I studied this. You're trying to mend what I said. I broke that up. It's over. Oh, help them out. There's some family. Y'all don't want to hear family, because I know y'all love your families. I love them too, but there are some family members, and I stole this from my brother-in-law, there are some family members you got to connect some spoons together. Y'all will catch that tomorrow. 3, 4 spoons, 5, 6, 7 spoons. Don't mean I don't love you. 12, 13, 20. It don't mean I don't love you, but it just means I got to feed you a long handle. Because if I let you get too close, you're going to taint me again, and I don't need that. It's going to be just like Jesus was in his glory. I'm just here to let you see, and I keep it moving. Because you got to remember, just because they family, it don't mean nothing. Friends stick closer than a what? Y'all going to get that text in a minute. Let's finish reading this. I like this, and we're done. Then Jesus told him, because you have seen me, you believe. But blessed are those, remember I told him to prove it to you? Blessed are those who have not seen, and yet they do believe. See, that's where the blessing comes in at. Faith Write this word down. When you have unparalleled faith. That's unparalleled faith. That I can't see it.